You know, people deserve opportunities to save money and put up a nest egg for retirement. Nobody should have to work endlessly their entire life. Shouldn't have to do it. Um, you should only work as long as you feel that you want to work after a certain point, because part of us being human, it is prescribed for us labor. Labor is to develop character. So we don't run from labor. We embrace it as part of the human experience. But in doing so, we can't tolerate the greed of the old regime and the selfish hoarding of the wealth from the people. And the only way to correct that error, right here from Orient, I'm going to tell y'all, is for somebody to figure out the conundrum, to dig down to the depths, find all of the lost jewels and bring them back to the surface so we can start living like humans again and building families again and loving each other again without all of the pain and the suffering and the misery. A lot of people gave a lot of sacrifices and self-sacrifice. It's the highest form of sacrifice. Self-sacrifice. Sacrificing your core self in order to accomplish an ultimate goal. That is a great sacrifice. Um, when you have an enemy that devoured the children, and you have to know how to use that to trap the enemy. Because if you don't use it to trap him, he's going to continue eternally to devour the children. So if we're going to free the children, we got to free the mothers so that they can protect the children. If we're going to free the mothers to protect the children, we have to liberate the fathers mentally, physically, emotionally, in order to provide the things needed for the mother to do her function as a mother. Funny thing about that is, everybody not a mother, but everybody that's capable of opening the portal of life think because they can do that, that make them a mother. But that in and of itself is not enough. You have to care more about the child than you care about yourself. Then the sacrifice of the child for the redemption of the child um, becomes part of the release mechanism in order to give that child even the opportunity to survive under the oppression of a beast that thought that everybody was only made to be workers, servants. And so we don't want to be a human race of slaves and a human race of servants to a few greedy wealth hoarders in secluded corners of the world that cares nothing about the people, care nothing about um, how they live, their suffering and their pain. Somebody has to care about the suffering and the pain. When you have workers that only want to go to work, they don't want um, to go to work and worry about the politics. There's a way to eliminate that. They don't want to go to work to deal with all of the dog eat dog, crab in the bucket scenarios pulling each other down, because they're coming there to earn substance. They burn their labor to provide substance for their children and their families. They have single mothers and they have single fathers working in these places. And the system is designed to make them fail as a parent, because the work scenario is not conducive to us being good parents all the time. So we have to figure out ways around these things. And so we have to turn work from a laborious and dreaded task into an acceptable and understandable part of life, and the people who is behind the work machine. These people have to start to learn that because they are in a superior position doesn't make them a superior person. In this struggle, there is no big I's and little U's. We are humans. We all in the same boat. And we all suffering from the same oppression, from the same oppressor. They turn our children against us. They turn the parent against the child, and they turn the husband against the wife, and they broke up the family. When the family is broke up, people are in a continuous state of confusion. It's like when a mind breaks in psychology and the doctors give you medications. These doctors, thank you, Cashian. These doctors give you medications to patch up the breaks in the mind. But who patches up the breaks in the family? Who patches up when the single mother only wants to take care of her child and only wants to be a good mother and a good sister and a good daughter and a good wife? Who is to speak for her when she's in this condition? Somebody has to speak for her. I've seen it. And I know when she was nailed to the cross. I'm here to liberate it. And so we fail to realize that it all converges at a central point, at a point where all of these things that we see have to mean something, or the life becomes meaningless. And if you find yourself in what feels like a meaningless life, you will find yourself in a perpetual state of misery. And that's not heaven, that's hell. So there's things we can do as humans. As humans, we can take the brakes off of our children's minds so they can advance. We can take the shackles off of the mothers, and we can release the hands of the fathers so they can join together and build families again. But we can't do it under these conditions. We can't do it when the worker, the lifeblood of every society on this planet, is treated like less than human. Because they laborers, that doesn't make them less. They can all shine. They can shine doing what they do. They don't have to be the celebrity. If they're a good worker and they do a good job, that should be respected. And that should be honored. And anybody not honoring and respecting that, they are in the way of the betterment of the whole of humanity. And as we look around and we see the signs and the times, but many of us are naive and we neglect to see what's before our very eyes. Somebody had to clean this mess up, so somebody had to be sacrificed. So there's two sacrifices. There's the sacrifice of the struggle of reclaiming your right as a man. And then there's also the sacrifice of the woman reclaiming her right as a woman. So we want to get back into our power. And this is where our power stems from. At the very core, love is the emotive energy of creation. And wisdom is the organizing energy of creation. And the wisdom without the love is meaningless. As the love without the wisdom is useless. But when you put the two together, that's a sacred union. And we make our lives and our struggles based off of what is dictated from people who has no concern for our wealth and our well-being, our health, our families, or our family structures. They've stolen from us. I'm here to reclaim it. They put before us a challenge. I met the challenge. They told us that it was an unbreakable seal, and I broke it. And they told us that we would forever be enslaved to their system if nobody broke it. So all of the people on this planet that have a love for humanity sacrifice over a prolonged period of time, passing a key from one hand to another, that'll reach a final destination where they all line up. And they line up so perfect, all 7 keys, where the alchemy has transformed this beast into something greater than himself. Somebody that can see deeper into the situation than what's on the surface. And somebody that has to have enough compassion for the people and enough disdain for the enemy to use both of them as fuel to find a solution. But none of that in the end will work if there's no love in the equation. And so there's a lot of people who don't understand love. But that's okay. Hey, sis, we all in this together. The black ones, the white ones, the Asian ones, the Hispanic ones, the Australians, the Islanders. We all sacrificed to get rid of this evil. This unstoppable evil force that nobody thought could ever be stopped with his codes. Because nobody ever thought that a man on this planet will ever love a woman enough to raise himself up to be worthy to be accepted by her. And they thought that no woman would love a man enough for the self-sacrifice in order to be the best woman she can be for her family. And we both made the struggle. It's been a long time in the making. When the enemy put out 1,000 points of light to disrupt our unity as humans and our pattern of living our best lives as we were prescribed from the very beginning, when this liar, when this fork-tongued beast came in, deceiving all he could devour, they thought that we as a humanity would lose our humanity in the deception to such a degree we would never recover from it, and that we would never be able to love each other as one human family again because of what they did in Babylon with divide and conquer. The goal was to pillage us and to use us for servants for eternity. They planned, and we had a plan. And the plan they had was to continuously to deceive you. But the plan we had was to continuously struggle until we are liberated. To continuously come together behind the scenes, in the sacred halls and the secret lodges, in the organizations and the foundations, and to pass the knowledge on piece by piece, to build this wall, to build this temple, brick by brick. This temple of man where the one who would be the one would have to put all the pieces together so we didn't have to continuously be in servitude. And the final death blow is to attain the wisdom of the ages to crack the code. So in Asia, they sent us Sun Wukong and his emotive energy and his undefeatable disposition. Sun Wukong never loses. Sun Wukong then became a Gemini in India as the counterpart to Lord Ram. But this is all archetypes. Ram is Hanuman. Hanuman is Ram after he has tamed his Sakomao, his monkey mind, he has to take the journey to the west at the behest of the Buddha. In the journey to the west, he's supposed to discover this great wisdom. The Africans sent us loas, and the Egyptians, they sent us ancient netter, spirit forces. The Greeks sent us titans in energy work. When you learn how to program reality, then you can unprogram or rewrite it. You can take the defects out of the system. And now it's up to us as a humanity to find a way to work together, understand where we came from in order to get where we are, to not accept the oppressive regime, because the oppressive regime is gone. I have destroyed the beast once and for all by attaining the wisdom of the ages, fueled by eternal love. This is an unparalleled match. It's indestructible. It's walking through the flames, not being touched by the fire. It's something so magnificent in scope, unbelievable in perception, but so definite in its reality. We learn from the wisdom of the ages the structure of the universe, the foundations. We know that the cross-section of the fabric of creation is the mental and the physical unity. It is the joining together of the two. And so, when I tell y'all that on the day of the masters, on Judgment Day, when I was put before the masters of the high councils of heaven and challenged to unravel this riddle and identify by showing my work. So you got to show your work. And when you show your work, it's different than when you just say it. It's indisputable. So we wonder, can we prove it? Can you unravel the riddle? Can you assimilate the wisdom of the ages? Because as all Moors know, sometimes we got to go around our elbow to get to our thumb. And this be the book no man could read, but the chosen one. Not only did I have to read it, I had to build it. If you look at the pictures, Code of Thieves, the Code of Thieves, the ancient Code of Thieves is today called the Uniform Commercial Code. If you know the Uniform Commercial Code, if you are the trust holder, you can live off the trust and take care of yourself as long as you don't violate the principle of the trust, right? And if you don't violate the principle of the trust, only the person that can unlock the right to the trust by blood and by right can they access the trust. So now the trustee has been confronted, right? The trustees coming to find out we're imposters. The Pope was an imposter drag queen. The president was a puppet figurehead. They was all imposters. All of the Lizard Queen and all her little cronies sitting over there like they was the real royal families while the royal families of Europe hid. They hid out over here. They hid out in Switzerland. Anywhere that you heard them say a country was neutral and all of the wars was breaking out all around them, that ought to tell y'all something. That ought to tell y'all something, because all of the motherfucking money was being funneled through Switzerland. So who the fuck was in Switzerland so goddamn important that they get to stay out of World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea? They ain't got nothing to do with that shit. They stayed out of the 6-Day War for Israel. They didn't get in the Civil War. They didn't get. Who in the fuck is in Switzerland that these motherfuckers is unmolested and they don't have to take part in no wars, but everybody money have to be funneled through Switzerland? Well, they got their Swiss Army ass Swiss cheesed up for trying to motherfucking play us like we couldn't figure it out. Sooner or later, we gonna figure it out. We gonna knock on this reality in every direction until we figure out the conundrum, the scrambled egg that they said could never be unscrambled. Well, I unscrambled that motherfucker. I'm telling y'all, we got the right, we got the birthright to the land, and we got the right to the motherfucking claim. I did everything else. Now I have to have the clansmen on the land remember who the fuck you is. Call forth your leader to explain the problem. Larry got to come out and tell y'all why the chiefs on the land was not able to execute their duties by keeping the tribes of the land in order. They have to explain that to y'all. This is why they don't want them brothers out of the penitentiary. We've been at war. The war never stopped. But y'all have no concept of protracted struggle. Therefore, you're not watching the long game and ain't really paying too much attention to the short game. The only way out of this shit is us. Ain't no white man gonna come give y'all no keys to no country. That's an illusion painted by the establishment to delude you. Only by using your system, exercising your birthright to the land, in unison with your brothers similarly situated according to tribal law, the law of the land and the common law, supreme jurisdiction of the unified nations all across the land, 500 north, 500 south. That's 1,000 nations on this land, from North America to South America, to 10,000 nations, in a solid voice telling these motherfuckers we back for every fucking thing y'all owe. It ain't up to nobody else now. It's up to us if we gonna pay attention. Right? I done produced the receipts. I told you who did it. Some of the motherfuckers I actually thought were some good people and I liked them. But they did the dirt. They sold us the fuck out. Yes, they did. And I don't give a fuck about what they look like. They did what the fuck they did, and we ain't happy about it. They did what they did. It's nothing personal. We fuck that shit. What do we do from here? From here, we go into the Indigenous Rights Act. I pulled it up on my Facebook video, and I read some of it. But I encourage all of y'all to read it, to explain to y'all the process of the changing over of the government back to the tribal jurisdiction. You have to know the process. So I have to explain to y'all the process by which the transition of power is currently and actively taking place, waiting on the tribal membership at large to assert their desire to restore the land, airwaves, and the waterways, and to cease and desist with all polluting of the land, cease and desist with all motherfucking kidnapping of the children, the rape and pillaging campaign, the holding hostages of the wealth of the wealthiest people on the planet. Us. Right? Us. We ain't singing the blues no more, motherfucker. We not tap dancing and we ain't asking. Once they know that we all in agreement by breaking their algorithm, they have to address the issue. There's a big ass elephant in the room with a gorilla on her back. She want her shit, and the gorilla is banging on his motherfucking chest, waiting for them to turn us a fucking loose to tear this bitch up. But mama didn't want us to tear it up. She wanted us to do it by the process first, and if they don't honor the process, we upset the motherfucking peace. This is where we at with it. If we do our part, they got two options. Deal with the motherfucking forces from behind this bitch that's gonna come in and then they ain't got no weapons for, or they gonna deal with us. And I guarantee you they'd rather deal with us because they already been exposed to who they got to deal with. They already raining their satellites down. They got y'all talking, thinking it's a geostorm. That was them motherfuckers on Nibiru did that shit. Blew them goddamn satellites down so that they can't interrupt your progress. I don't even like talking about them motherfuckers up there. Because I'm trying to get y'all to focus on what's going on down here. But y'all can't even focus on down here. And them motherfuckers up there is showing y'all, they showing a natural born ass. And y'all still thinking it's the same old business as usual ass shit. They shut the fuck down HARP. That shit closed. This ain't HARP y'all seeing. This them motherfuckers up there on them ships. This ain't got nothing to do with HARP. Them niggas on them ships. I don't even fuck with them like that. Anybody know me know I don't even like to talk about them motherfuckers like that because my personal opinion is I don't believe that we pay enough attention on what's in front of us and we ain't got time to be looking up to no goddamn stars, but goddamn, I can't even ignore this shit no more. That's the part I'm pissed off about. I can't, now I gotta talk about this shit and they already think I'm crazy. Now I'm about to tell y'all about these motherfuckers shooting satellites down. They really gonna call me batty and nuts. But I don't give a fuck. I got to let you know it. Whether I agree with it or disagree with it, the truth is the truth. I don't gotta like it, I gotta tell it. I don't gotta like the truth, I gotta tell it though. Because mama said, as long as I stand in the position of right, which I'm already in the position of right because I did everything my big mama asked me to do. And then if I tell the truth, I can move the universe. I'm telling y'all the God-given truth. This is us reclaiming our shit. We reclaiming our shit because we got all of the forces of nature and the galaxies behind us. But y'all got to come together in unity. That's the most craziest shit. Beware the enemy within, but come together in unity. You know who we are because wherever we at is peaceful and harmony. But when one of them come around, they trying to debate, start shit, ruffle feathers, change the narrative, split the motherfucking story, point the finger at everybody but the guilty party. Tell you don't point your finger at the guilty party because making the other motherfucker did it. No, I don't want the other motherfucker. I want the motherfucker who done the dirt. I don't want the motherfucker who he accused of doing the dirt. I want the actual dirt doer. You can't be beating around the bush like that. So, I'm gonna tone this down and cut it short. But listen to what I'm telling y'all. Get the word out. Shut they algorithms down. 2/22/2022. Hashtag Free Larry Hoover on all social media platforms. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you can do on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever platforms you got access to. 2/22/2022. Blow that bitch up with Free Larry Hoover all day long till they can't deny it. They can't deny it. They know who he is. It's in his file. It's in his jacket. They know who he is and they know why we knocking for him. We got to make a fuss. They say that it got to be at least 144,000 of us in the algorithm for it to flip. It might have something to do with biblical prophecy. Because I know that that's the codes that they was using for our oppression is in the biblical prophecies. And by exercising the codes from the Bible to unlock it. Free Jeff Ford. Free Larry Hoover mean the same thing. If you want to see Chief Malik Angel Bay, hashtag Free Larry Hoover 2/22/2022. It mean the exact same thing. I've been saying it from the beginning, you know. So let Lil Larry know. Somebody let Kanye know. 222, we all knocking for Hoover, and we trying to break the motherfucking algorithm with Free Larry Hoover, where they can no longer deny that the people want the chief on the land. He the spokesman for the round table of the chiefs of the land. Make him speak up. Make him speak up. Call him out. You have a right as a tribesman on the land to call any one of the high chiefs forward to explain the conditions on the land. Right? So they ignored my writ. Big Mama didn't like that shit. So she tore their ass up with weather anomalies all over this bitch. Now, we going into this next wave, the final portal. After this, then somebody gonna get their slacks jacked. I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know if they're gonna continue to use weather anomalies, shooting satellites down, or they might just start blasting motherfucking people. I don't know. I don't even care. I just got to deliver the message. I don't have no confidence in the tribes people for waking up from the slumber because I know how deep the programming is. I know how it's been etched in some of our people's souls, where they think the only way out is to sell out and the only way up is to motherfucking suck your way up. And I'm sad to tell you that I'm not finna do none of that shit. I'm not finna sell out. I'm not finna do that. I'm not kissing nobody ass, because mama told me don't never kiss nobody ass. Right? So we just got to get on top of our game as a collective. They already gave us our shit back. That's what the whole Indigenous Act was about. The United States of America was only the 10 square miles known as Washington, D.C. The rest of this shit was tribal land. It always have been, but none of us was governing tribal land because they was killing all of the governors. The governors is the bays. And who was doing it? The dirty Moors. They walked around looking like us. I can't say no, it was them. The same niggas killed Noble Drew Ali. The same niggas infiltrated the Black Panthers. The same niggas that infiltrated the Nation of Islam. Wasn't no pale faces involved in none of that shit. Wasn't no pale face murderers to Father putting Allah up in Harlem. Wasn't no pale faces in that shit. They was coming to get their people out of this condition. And y'all, they murdered them. They murdered them to death, murdered them. Like, seriously, look, murdered them motherfuckers. Right? So, at some point, when we tell the truth and we start pointing out the ops, the real ops, the sellouts, the traitors, the cutthroats, the backbiters, the murderers, the underminers, the supplanters, it might look like we dragging out some of our own. Right? And then some of our own buck dancing like they them. Because I'll pound their ass in the head. Pan-African is what? I've been studying Pan-Africanism just as long as anything else. And from all of the people I speak to from Africa, first of all, they don't call themselves Africans unless they're from South Africa. Right? The only motherfuckers start doing that is the motherfuckers that's been Americanized. If they not Americanized, then they don't even call themselves African unless they from South Africa. And then they don't call themselves African, they say they Afrikaans. Pan-Africanism taught me this. Pan-Africanism brought me into contact with people from Ghana saying, y'all was already over there before the motherfuckers ever came. Y'all not from over here. Y'all originally from over there. Then I bumped into motherfuckers, scholars. I'm from motherfucking Somalia to Sudan, Ethiopia. I done ran across them all. And they all telling me the same fucking story that my ancestors say, we ain't come on no ships. There is no record of a mass reduction in the population of the people of that land mass over there. They say they killed over 300 million slaves in the Middle Passage. Where? Where? They wouldn't have never made it over here with the conditions that they say they was in. We can't even think past that box. But I can tell you that if you overlay it, the slave ship with Notre Dame University, it'd match up perfect. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Cause you know me, I like to show you sometimes better than I like to tell you. This picture right here, right in the under slave ship, this picture come up. They say we was packed like that for months. First of all, you got dead bodies on there, decaying, cause motherfuckers dying from the inhalation of the fumes of the feces, the urine, the vomit. Then they don't got no drains in that motherfucker with no running water. Now they saying this is how we came the fuck over here. Come on now. But if you pull up Notre Dame University, let me show you. You gotta get the sky view. Pull up Notre Dame University sky view. And then and this is the building you get, right? But that ain't the right. I want an overhead view. Because from the overhead view, you'll realize that it was an academic construct. They did this shit to make us look real stupid, and it was working for a real long time. But mama ain't raised no fool, papa ain't raised no punk. If he tell me to go get their ass, I'm throwing them in the trunk. Damn, this motherfucker used to come right up. It don't even come up no more. Um, Look, this is when it got struck by a ship on May the 5th, right? Um, I think that was 2020. Korea. There's several of them who I done broke bread with them. I done been accepted by the elder women of multiple clans of Spanish-speaking people that's been subjected by the invaders. The man alone can't give me any juice. The matriarch. I'll give you an example. Before I could be Chief Pontiac, I had to be the one. All of the OGs said, he cool. He the one. Now I'm Chief Pontiac. I don't give a fuck. I just want the people free. But that makes me a bad guy. That makes me wrong. It make me deceptive because the way that you read the signs is sometimes you don't even see it until it's there. You're not supposed to, because you don't want the enemy to know how to capitalize on it before you get to it. But I'm wrong. They tell me that I'm a liar because I don't tell them everything I'm doing. I guess I'm wrong. When it comes to telling a lie, your stock value has to be greater to me than mine, or I do not have enough fucking value in you to tell you a goddamn lie. You don't mean more to me than me, so I'm not gonna lie to you. And all of the Spaniards that came over on the ships in search of Cordoba. I am Cordoba, you stupid ass motherfuckers. I am the city of gold. It's in my heart. It's kind of tarnished right now. I'm trying to polish this motherfucker, but they keep covering it up with shit, so y'all can't see the city of gold manifest. Everybody want what they want, but they don't want what's in the best interest of us as a collective unit. Everybody want to be the only fucking one that get redeemed. Fuck everybody else, including this motherfucker. Fuck this motherfucker too. They got their shit. Fuck everybody else and you. I got mine now. Get the fuck on. It don't work like that. We want it to work like that. It don't work like that. That's not the mechanics behind the machine. It don't work where only the one motherfucker can have their benefit at the expense of 8.4 billion other people. If that was the case, this shit would have been over with a long time ago. Until everybody free, ain't none of us free. And when we don't realize that, so take it for what it's worth. I am the baddest motherfucker out here. And I do have the answers. I'm not offering them anymore. Y'all got to come get them now. This is done. I'm no longer trying to convince anybody or don't believe shit I fucking say. Don't believe shit I fucking say. I'm going to sit on my ass until this bitch fall apart, or a motherfucker wake up to what's going on. I can't leave the fucking temple without an invitation to leave the temple. And I can't support the temple because I'm no longer allowed to leave the temple. So it's going to fall apart in poverty, in ruins, in blight. I'm good with that.